well as a copy of the minutes from last month's meeting. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve as presented?
Make a motion.
All those in favor? There was no executive session. At this time, I'm going to open the floor to citizens' remarks. If anybody has any remarks, if you would like, please come forward, state your address and your name, please.
Also up 220 South York Street. I was not at last month's meeting. I had asked for copies of some things, and I just wanted to ask a question. So there had been a motion made, and I asked for the documents of the motion, and was told that it was client privilege, but it was a motion in open, during an open meeting. So is it still client privilege?
What documents are you referring to?
So there was, I believe Ron presented a document and asked and made a motion for the solicitor to address the items in the letter. And a motion was made and seconded and passed by the council during the public meeting.
Yeah, that's a record representing the borough reaching out to the solicitor for legal advice. So it's not been made public to anyone other than members of council, so that's still privileged.
It's still privileged, even though it's done during different council.
The motion itself was done during the open
So
meeting,
the
which is a matter of
documents-
the public record. But
But that doesn't make it public.
no, even something reduced to a written request, like for example, if they were to reach out via email for legal advice, that's still privileged information.
Should we play a question?
Yes.
Yes.
I was confused there for a second.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to ask about, and I think it just wasn't clear on my little right to know, I ran out of room, so I tried to squish it in as much as I could because I was asking a lot. There had been during the meeting, I believe, there had been some mention of a procurement process. And I'm just wondering what procurement process we follow in the borough, because during the finance committee, it was mentioned that we didn't have one, but you mentioned during the meeting that we did. So for clarity, I wanted to understand where our procurement process is.
Certainly, just generally speaking, that would be chapter 13 of the borough code. It goes over bidding and contracts.
Okay, all right, great, and then that refers back to probably Title 8. Or no, is it?
Yes, Title 8 is the borough code.
Yeah.
So chapter 13 is within Title 8.
Okay, great, I just wanted to follow there. Okay, thank you very much.
What's that?
Were you helping with the girl?
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Stephanie Carlton, and I live at 25 Bristol Road. And I know it's already probably on the agenda already, but I wanted to find out about my electric service that's supposed to be hooked up. It was approved, let me see, actually the 22nd. I got the approval letter on the 25th. And I wanted to find out what's going to happen with that, when I'm going to get my electric or not energized, because I've been waiting for 3 weeks.
It is on the agenda, and we're going to cover that in completion.
Thank you.
At this time, if there are no other citizens that would like to address, I'm going to move forward with the police report. Sergeant Taylor. And before he begins, as he's approaching, I wanted to point out, he did a great deed this evening in assisting a citizen with a flat tire.
Yep.
And I just want to commend the Sergeant Taylor on that sort of record. And I appreciate the Newberry Township Police Department and all your officers.
So appreciate you guys, I know your people as well, we've been busy all afternoon, so, but I appreciate it. Evening council, appreciate you, please just disregard my appearance in the day. Nevertheless, I'll be brief with my report. In part 1, 2, and 3 offenses, you had one theft this month, one drug offense, 13 citations were issued, 13 warnings were issued. We did pretty steady in terms of traffic enforcement here in the borough this past month. I believe South York Street has been addressed pretty regularly. I hope that obviously in the summer we continue to see drivers So summer is upon us. 4th of July was, I'll say, a little bit of a washout. I don't want to speak. I was working, I was chasing tree down and waterfalls all night. So, as was most of the county. So I hope there weren't too many firework issues. We tried to address them pretty direct with people, throughout the township, Goldsboro and your borough yourself. So I apologize if anything was missed, but we were about 50 staff that night, with three of us, that were working. So we even had, Officer Allhouse, who was working in the balloon detail down in Shelley Park. He came off of that just to kind of help and jump in and chase wires down trees. So I apologize for being brief tonight. Again, I apologize for my appearance, but if there's any questions, happy to address them as always.
None for me, Sergeant Taylor, and I appreciate everything you guys do.
I appreciate it, Chief, thank you.
All right, you guys take care, have a good night, and get back to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the fire report, I'll make this brief as well. We had 25 calls for the month of June, 133 total for the calendar year. Total calls for the fiscal year, 179. We had 1 training and 1 work detail. Over at the fire station, plans are to be removing the ice house and the garage over there. The fire department bought Heritage Old property, but the plans are to remove the ice house and the garage in due time, probably here in the fall. But that's going to be one less obstruction, one less possibility of a building collapsing with age and all. Also possibly get rid of some of the rodents that we've seen walking and visiting in that area. But the fire department continues to work well with the other fire departments. We have some training coming up on the 22nd. We're doing an EV training down here with electric vehicles, both a Tesla pickup truck and a Tesla car, which is very much in need of getting hands-on. They're going to be going through the vehicle itself, looking, getting to view the batteries and all that kind of stuff. So, but outside of that, that's all I have. At this time, look for a motion to accept the police and fire reports.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Mayor's report.
Nothing more than National Night Out. Just to remind everybody that's going on the first Tuesday in August, and we won't meet before then. So come out. It'll be a great time. We have a lot of stuff there. Actually, something I did want to add here, skunks. We're getting a lot of skunks in town. Does anybody in council know what we can do about that?
You can live trap them. Unfortunately, the animal services that we have through the borough does not handle skunks. Just cats and dogs.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to do more.
I've been trapping them up, in our area for a bit.
Yeah, there are some down here in the borough itself, but unfortunately,
Like,
there's very little that can be done other than self-trap, and do, the appropriate live trap.
right.
Do you need a fur bearer's license to trap them?
Skunks, only if it's catch and release, or if it's not catch and release. If it's catch and release, then I don't believe you do.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
hopefully, yeah.
it's the humane, it's a catch and release. That'd be the thing to do. Skunks and groundhogs, I got a groundhog in my backyard. Well, not here. The plans are to catch and release. And you have to take them further than 5 miles.
Okay.
Is it 2 miles? So they don't come back.
We just don't want to work No, we'll address it. We'll get it figured out. I know a few people with extra traps, so. Yeah, and that'll do it for my report.
I have a question for the mayor, please.
Yes.
For National Night Out, have y'all reached out to the VFW? They have a new commander up there. They always participate down there for National Night Out.
Yeah, we were actually gonna be together. with them. There's usually a bigger donator, so I think
Yeah.
the two of us needs.
And I know previous years, the Coast Guard was there. I don't know if the VFW reached out to them or who reached out to them.
I think it's the reserves. The reserves are coming with
The
like
Coast
the
Guard
two-
was here. I had a tent right beside.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's.
Well, has anybody reached out to them? Do you know if they're gonna be here this year or what's going on?
So it'd be the reserves, that, when we come out with a new Hummer. I guess they're not Hummers anymore, it's a different big vehicle. Yeah. But it'd be cool.
Motion on the floor to accept the mayor's report. All those in favor? All right, moving on to the manager's report.
Okay, I just have a couple of things to go over. There was water main break, caused by the frontier work up in, Shelley's. It's still up, we're still reviewing it and investigating it. I believe the borough stance is that Frontier is responsible for this. I still have to reach out to Rick Mann from CI Services. It's an ongoing process. But EK responded, Ecotech to the emergency, we got everything cleared up pretty quickly, I believe, for water. You can't just switch it back on, so, that was repaired.
What about the other people complaining about their being extended water also?
Well, we don't have any, I mean, we had our locator locate all the lines. That's between Xfinity and Frontier. There's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could, but yeah, we can't do that.
Joyce, how accurate is that mapping or plotting now?
It's probably a lot more accurate because they were up all through Shelley's, down from Ecotech. But still, the water lines aren't marked with paper or anything. So they're hard to locate.
Is there a way Ecotech can go and send a transmitter through the lines at all?
I don't know, I can call and ask.
And then utilize our GIS mapping to see if they can map the path of the lines to, you know what I mean, a map overlay?
To make it more
To
accurate.
see, to see if we can get it more accurate and then pull the transmitter out at any one of the points that are open and available for us to pull out, or even the hydrants.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
it's just a
can
thought.
ask,
Yeah.
yeah. And then just to clarify, number 2 here, on the agenda is the liquid fuels was mentioned. They do an audit, but they don't necessarily, they didn't give us a written report, but it was completed, everything was in order with the borough.
And what year was that for?
That was for 25.
Okay. Because they haven't posted it to their website yet.
Right, it must take a while,
Okay.
because they didn't give us a report back when he left. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
If, and I'll keep checking, but if you take notice that it's been posted, could you kindly let me know?
And I'm sure I'll get a hard copy.
Well, yeah,
They'll email me.
and do we have hard copies of previous years on file?
I do not know
Okay.
that. I can look. As people probably observed, some potholes were filled on Clover. Crawl Excavating did that. They also repaired the sinkhole down on South York Street. And I'm preparing to get in touch with them to fix the sinkhole in the back here by the shed and also the drainage problem as they were in First Avenue. I'm gonna get with the Fireman's Club to see when their least busy day is, so we can get all that taken care of.
Are those stormwater drains, do they belong to the state or the borough?
Well, I learned from the sinkhole that anything above ground, curb to curb, is the state's responsibility. Anything in the ground, as far as storm drains, is our responsibility. All right?
And did the state sign off on those placement of the storm wastewater drains, do you know?
Of those?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I can probably go and see.
Do me a favor kindly, please. Look into that and see if the state gave their sign off on the placement of those two stormwater drains. With that being a state road, they'd have to go and get their approval. And the reason why I ask is obviously with the placement of that is very poorly placed and should have been on First Avenue versus right on Ziegler. You know, because if you cross over First Avenue, you got a stormwater drain. Same thing, it should have been on the other side. That's why that road is eroded away like it has, because the water's puddling and pooling right there.
Yeah, I'll get with him and ask, and you can find out.
Yes, please.
I'll call Jim back.
Thank you.
The last meeting he asked about, if you give us a call about the erosion.
Oh, erosion specialist.
What did we find out with that?
That'll be for the runoff from the borough building and the shed. Because if anybody's noticed, there's no gutters on that shed.
Right, right. And he won't know, he came and looked at the simple out there, and they won't know until they dig it up.
Yeah.
What it's
I guarantee it's more than 5 feet deep.
Well, the one on South York Street, surprisingly enough, was not a storm pipe sunk. There was nothing under there. They even went down into the manhole below on South York, so, that was not a storm drain that sunk on South York Street.
Actually, a manhole on top of mine, that's the,
There's a manhole on South York Street. No, I can send it back with that thing. Well, they're down. But, yeah. But that's basically all right now.
All right, motion on the floor to accept the manager's report.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? ELH and P report, water company report, council has a copy. Motion to accept ELH and P and the water company report. All those in favor? Motion to accept engineer's report. Motion to accept the engineer's report. We've got a motion by Ron, seconded by Stacy. All those in favor? All right. Solicitor's report.
Okay, first matter, briefly update on the SLFRF. This is the COVID money. At the last meeting, we detailed the background of how we believe that there's reporting errors that need correcting. Followed up with borough office, and they have reached out to the treasury to put them on notice that we are wanting to correct those submissions. I believe the matter has been opened. We received a generated response, but in those treasury response emails, they say note the extended times and potential delays, but they did open a matter for us to respond to. I believe the next point of order would be for us to establish that line of communication with them, let them know what we want reflected in our submissions, and then best document with them, since we are now beyond any applicable deadlines, to essentially start anew. That's just a brief update.
well, my understanding, I guess the only way we're gonna be able to keep the money is if we turn it all into revenue loss.
Yeah, so a couple meetings ago, I outlined that where that's the easiest method is you elect the revenue loss and you apply it to appropriate payroll reimbursement mechanisms. So if we can document those expenses during the period where we were allowed to allocate them, that's hopefully going to be the goal with our revised submissions, so that it's clearly shown that we were trying to apply them to that particular revenue loss category. So yes.
So, we figured out yet how much, if any, we got to give back?
That's not, that would be jumping the gun. That's if they
Okay.
deny our.
All right, yes.
Okay, next one is the electric service, 25 Whistler Road. I have a background of just applicable policies for the electric company and regulations for connecting such service points, but I don't know if there's something that you wanted to address beforehand, Doug, since there was just mention during the public comment period that this would be addressed.
Other than what you have provided, I mean, I haven't talked to you since then, but it was to my understanding, I don't know, do you have the ordinance or the amended ordinance? Okay.
So essentially, ordinance number 1988-1 amends the existing ELH&P rules and regulations to establish specifications for underground installation of electric services. In that 20-page document, There's a number of design guidelines, including trenching and conduit size, which I believe are the current matters to be confirmed here. Essentially, last I understand it, Joyce, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the borough is wanting to reach out since their own electric personnel was not present during the trenching and conduit portion of the installation to confirm that it conforms to its own rules and regulations, not just NEC compliance. And that's to ensure that everything is safe before connecting power to those facilities. So that's essentially where that stands.
Did he get something that the rest of us don't have?
The ordinance is on the website, the amended ordinance.
Well, we looked for it, we could not find it on the website.
It's ordinance number 1988-1.
And it has all the drawings and specifications that
I will say though, specifically with respect to conduit size, it reserves to be in compliance with ELHP's standards, so the electric company standards, but in that section, there's no express mention of particular size. There is a map that I was provided that talks about 3 inches for secondary cables, and 4 inches for 15 kilovolt URD cables. So, really, I think what's to be confirmed here is just to make sure that it's safe for connection. That's the main consideration here.
We have an expert here for that, no. My thing is med ed and everybody goes off NEC standards.
NEC standards are in addition to whatever the borough has adopted by way of its own policies and procedures. So in many cases, these would go in excess of what those standards may require. They're two different authoritative bodies. Sometimes policies incorporate those standards by reference, but here they don't.
I mean, I have other questions about that too, because even work that was done previously with Charlie here, like out across from the fishing hole, as a matter of fact, that's only an inch and a half conduit.
I'm not saying what the appropriate conduit size is. I'm saying that the borough was not present and wants to confirm it for themselves before connecting. That's it. So to make sure that it's consistent with what it feels comfortable with connecting its electric system to, that's the last matter outstanding. There may be some short document provided as a waiver, considering that the borough was not present for that installation. That's a matter to still be worked out.
Well, I mean, council is really the one in control of the ELHP anyways to make the decisions.
Certainly, so the way to do that would be, if it feels differently from what's currently in existence, to adopt a new ordinance that would amend the existing requirements.
Well, and do we need to make a motion to reset that ordinance?
You would have to advertise the ordinance, you'd have to draft it, then you would have to do it at a properly advertised meeting. So there's the same steps to go for amending an ordinance.
Well, can we get the electrician?
So it's reserved to the borough standards. So once they have personnel out there that's able to confirm that it is in compliance, that's the outstanding matter necessary.
Well, is that obviously is it in compliance that the inspector passed this way?
that's for the meter base.
That's,
No, he inspected
He
the
did not
trench.
inspect the trench, I talked to them.
He inspected the trench because she has a pass sticker for that, and then when everything was put on the building, she has the sticker for that.
I have pictures. Wanna see it?
And can we hear from the electrician
Yeah.
himself that does this commercially every day?
Yeah, if you could.
What I see here, I just say my name on it.
You're good.
Alright, I don't know what the issue is, we did the work passed inspection, and now there's this holdup, what's going on?
the issue is procedural compliance. I'm not saying that the work is deficient, it's just so that the borough can document that it's safe for connection. So the borough was not there when you were doing the work, correct?
Yep.
So that's the issue.
Okay, so I passed an inspection, I can't get it hooked up, because nobody was there. What's the
I'm
next
not an electrician, I'm not
step?
going to substitute my.
I wanna know what the next step is, right?
The next step is making sure that the borough's personnel can inspect the work that was done and verify that it's safe for connection.
And it's this Dubs guy, correct?
Can I make a statement?
Yeah, of course.
If you're an electrical contractor, you always reach out to the entity that is providing the electric off the pole. prior to doing any work. That's a standard practice,
Okay.
and that wasn't done. That's where the issue lies.
Because the issue was the size of the conduit, now it's changed to something else.
Yeah. Now, the size of the conduit could potentially still be an issue. That's to be confirmed by the borough's inspection. The borough is actually doing you a favor by working with you at this point. It is fully within its right to require you to dig up the work that was done without being approved in advance of the borough's inspection. So there are more severe methods that the borough could take at this moment, but I fully understand the borough council wants to work with the property owner to make this happen.
Okay, so who has the authority? Is it council, is it the LHP to get this approved for hookup?
I could do you one better. I'm sorry. Do we have a contract with Dubs?
We have an agreement with Dubs that he is our appointed representative for the LHG.
And is that on file?
A written agreement.
I'll have to
Contract.
see, but it's,
I'm pretty sure we don't. He was appointed, there's no contract. Just
but we
like
still have an ordinance with specifications.
I understand. What I'm getting at is I'm looking for an independent electrician to come in, take a look at the property, take a look at the conduit outside of Dubs. If we don't have a contract on file,
Yeah.
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 get all to come in,
Okay.
do the inspection. If we don't, if that's the case, have them come in, do the inspection, independent.
It's already been inspected by MEDA.
Yeah, independent to inspect it, other than any of the individuals within that firm that has been out to that property already. Some of it hasn't been.
Okay, I can look into that.
And then have them come out, look at it, and then give their input.
With using our specifications.
The ordinance that's in place,
Yep.
okay?
Okay.
It is Dubs has a contract, I'd like to see it.
And I have all the materials, I have pictures of everything that was done.
In the meantime, please provide the resident with a copy of the ordinance if she does not have one.
All right.
And all those materials that you have and pictures that you have are helpful information to provide whatever third-party service the borough is trusting. I don't know anything about what you might show.
Okay, all right, do me a favor, print out whatever you can to have that on file when the independent, representative comes out from Gettle
Okay.
to take a look at the property, present that to
And
them.
that'll be here.
That'll be whenever the borough manager
ASAP.
establishes the date.
Already did inspect it.
We're taking her out completely. We're gonna get somebody else in from that company
Okay,
that hasn't been out to the property. So it's a first seat.
okay.
And then, in the meantime, the borough manager will provide a copy of the ordinance to you that you can present along with your material to the inspector and say, please review. Okay, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
All right.
And if not, it wasn't a full project.
We're gonna go from
There's
that
nothing underground.
with what we can do.
That's your guessing, that's why you have
No,
the
they
eight
just,
months call.
everything's above ground.
That's everything.
Yes, as long as we're documenting it, that's the
Yeah.
last meeting. It's not on here, but just briefly, the last meeting we discussed the potential e-bike ordinance. I provided a draft to the borough office that you can take time to look. It's really a template ordinance that can be customized to whatever the borough wants to see reflected.
Yes.
For what?
E-bikes.
All the vehicles.
That is, respectfully, I have nothing against the e-bikes, but they are seriously getting out of control. I mean, I don't have one, but they are, to a certain point, I'm seeing the kids, like 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, riding them down the center of North York Street, which is a serious safety concern. And I say something to them, I say, try to keep to the side of the road, not in the middle of the road, that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I think that's something we definitely need to continue to pursue.
Talking to Sergeant Taylor out there, I mean, he does have like I guess a PennDOT recommendation sheet that we're gonna get some copies of, but pretty much he said as long as they're following traffic laws, that's pretty much what the police care about. I think
Yeah,
we
but
should
not
take a
running
step-
down the center of the road.
Right, well, that's not,
Yeah, right. I've seen 6 and 8 year olds riding.
I also think that they should be wearing helmets. If you wanna add that to your template, they gotta be wearing
Well,
helmets.
there's certain jurisdictional things that we would be limited to as opposed to like the police's enforcement.
Yeah.
Different, but let's take a look at the draft.
I mean, are we allowed to say, hey, like helmet enforcement? I mean,
We
these
can't.
things are fast.
We can't usurp like motor vehicle
Okay.
requirements. We
Yeah.
have our own limited jurisdictional authority for that borough.
Right.
And I do want to ask that, here, 1 second. As far as I want to see, we're not going by appointment, I want to see an agreement on paper or a contract with Doug's. Because I know it was stated here before, he would not do that, just like Sean Crowley would not do that. So he, I don't know why everybody keeps saying he is the legally appointed electrician. If he does not have a contract, he is not.
Well, the borough has been employing him since,
I understand that.
1884, and he does have
Correct.
that many years of experience.
Well, here's my thing, Joyce, it doesn't go, I'm not looking to take anything away from the years of experience. What I'm looking for is, for legal purposes, safety purposes, and his own well-being, to have a contract on file with the borough.
Okay.
Plus our insurance.
I mean, he does have insurance.
That's fine, but we're looking for something from him.
Okay.
We're paying him,
Right.
but we don't have anything from him saying, yeah, we have an agreement. That's all.
And is he a lineman or is he an electrician?
He's an electrical contractor.
Well, there's a difference between lineman hooking up the transformers and everything else versus doing this stuff. Send receptacles and things like that.
He does
Because
high tension. You know, when the electric goes off in the borough and the fuse blows, that's what a lineman does.
I know that.
He worked for the railroad for many
My
years.
question is he up to date because things change in that every
He
year?
stays up to date.
And he's up to date with
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's this contract.
Alright.
Okay.
Motion to accept the solicitor's report.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor? All right, moving on to committee reports. Building and grounds.
Well, we can just, I can talk about the building when we skip down to unfinished business.
Okay.
I do have one thing on the other building grounds. We brought up several meetings ago, you had a map of the restrooms by the Fishing Club. Have we reached out to anybody to try to replace them?
No, because this was stalled upstairs. I mean, I don't want to be stalled in one place and go start another thing. The building is all.
I would start that down there
But the outdoor restrooms? Okay.
until we get finalization from the state and where they sit with that.
They were all fine with the thing that you had as well.
With the,
What you,
Okay.
yeah. We just needed the contractor that was there.
okay.
EMA, it was passed along to me by the EMA coordinator, Mr. Beach, that, the grant was approved through the county for Constellation and the purchase of, allocated, funds for the EMA office down here. Unfortunately with that, we're gonna have to allocate, funds out of the account, under the EMA specific account, to make available to do the purchases as needed for said material, because then it's a reimbursable grant. So they're gonna reimburse the cost of whatever's spent. So the borough will have, we'll talk about it. No, just kidding. So the borough is going to have to authorize, and this is probably coming in a motion, I would think, to spend, per the list. Okay. Do I have to make an amendment to the
Didn't we already,
We voted on that money, and we voted on the authorization and spending. Okay, I thought we did. Okay, so bottom line is the borough office is gonna have to either, write the checks, with the annotation coming from the EMA account for said purchase of items that was submitted by Mr. Pete for the EMA office. And then at which point in time, his receipts and a copy of the, canceled check, not canceled, but, cleared checks will go to the county and they'll reimburse the borough. The other thing too is, there's a document that he is going to email council, and we are to review at next month's meeting, go and sit and approve, the said document. I don't know the specifics, and I do apologize for that. But as soon as I do, I'll provide it to council. That's all I have for you tonight. Moving on, finance.
Finance committee met on June 24th. We began a review of the 2025 year-end financials compared to the adopted budget and also the 2026, up to what we have so far. The remaining meeting dates will be advertised.
They be putting up for advertising, they should be advertised.
Okay, yeah, great.
And I'll do, huh?
You didn't advertise yet.
Yeah, because I didn't see it posted yet.
We put ads up, we didn't post, don't know yet. I didn't give them to you yet.
Okay, so next we have those meeting dates.
We actually advertised.
The committee requests the solicitor's guidance on whether an intergovernmental agreement is required or advisable between the Goldsboro borough and the Goldsboro municipal authority for payments made to the borough personnel for services provided to the authority. So evidently, I think the manager and maybe, Kim, whatever Kim's position is split between multiple accounts. And so the, finance committee was wondering if they needed to have an intergovernmental agreement between the borough and the municipal authority for that to occur. And then, the committee, started to, conduct an initial review of the SLFRF expenditures, which is the COVID money. So far, the receipts that we had looked at and looked up to were just under 34,000, and we are still looking at some more supporting documentation that's necessary to verify the total and to confirm compliance with the allowable use and requirements. Our next meeting is going to be on July 29th, where we are going to continue looking at the financials for 2025 and 2026, and continue looking at the SLFRF. And then August 19th, we have invited council to come to our meeting on August the 19th, and the auditor is going to be present at that meeting to go over the audit. And I think to describe how the audit happens, what's in the audit, and what the audit looks like.
And we're just gonna have a copy of the draft prior to the meeting, so.
August 19th.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So that's it. Is there any
I have
questions for the finance committee?
Question, so that, is that gonna be the draft of the audit? Because the actual audit itself is due July 31st. So after that, it won't be a draft.
Well, the DCP stuff is all ready to go, but he wants to go over it with everybody.
Yeah, but that's not until August.
Why can't we?
Right, but it's not, his agreement was to have the audit finished by July 31st
Correct.
for us, which it is, but he doesn't have time in July. And I figured it was better to meet with the whole council and the finance committee to go over things.
Okay, because he CC'd me in on the email he sent to the state and stated that it would be submitted by the 31st.
I think he sent another email, I can call him.
Yeah, I got it.
Well,
Either way, it should be finalized by the 31st.
I don't think it has to be finalized by the 31st.
Well, if he's submitting it to the state, it would be.
I can double check with him tomorrow.
I would want to see the communications before I say anything. I have no idea what's happening.
It's okay, it's fast and furious.
As far as that being.
Technically, they don't.
Okay, it states states here, dated June 30th. Good morning. And this is to Megan Steitzel. Thank you so much for the update. I've made a note in the system with an anticipated submission date of July 31st. Have a great holiday. My response back, acknowledged and received, and that was right to her.
All right, well, then maybe it is ready to submit the DCED
Yeah.
criteria.
June 29th, I hope you are doing well. This is to Megan, sorry. I wanted to provide you with a quick update on the status of the audit and DCED filing. We are currently in the final stages of the audit, including completing the report and final review process. Once that is complete, we'll provide the borough with a draft of the financial statements and audit report for its review and approval before issuing the final report. We now anticipate completing this process within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Once the audit report has been issued, we will promptly submit the final DCED filing, including the auditor's report and opinion to ensure that the borough's filing requirements are satisfied. With the council members who will be reviewing have limited schedules due to their full-time responsibilities outside the borough, can you mark 31st to be safe? There again, that's mentioned. So at this point in time, I think it would be safe to state that I would expect a filing by the 31st. Hence the reasoning why my follow-up emails with you were to go and meet with the financial committee prior to August's council meeting, so at which point he could present to the finance committee this month and then present to the council in August.
From what I understood from him, the DCEDs are done.
Okay.
So I don't know if he'll preliminarily file them. Does council have to approve them before
Yes.
we file them?
They have to be approved as filed, if I'm correct.
Because it doesn't have to be filed by the 31st. I think, didn't we go over this by December?
Yeah, by
Yeah,
December.
so-
But either way, I'm not looking at it as a draft. If he files it,
Okay,
it's
well,
no
it's
longer a
ready to
draft.
go. He's gonna have that, maybe he meant as a draft to you, so you guys can review it.
Yeah, and that's
And
fine.
have pertinent questions to ask during the finance committee meeting.
Yes.
So, I mean, that,
And
everybody
here's-
should be involved in it.
Ultimately, here's what I'm getting at. All I see is us pushing that proverbial can down the street when we could have had it established for the finance committee this month and for the council for the council and the public in August meeting. That's what I was looking to alleviate. Now we have to wait until August 19th, then we gotta wait until September to go and approve it.
Well, that's the other question I have. If everybody's in attendance,
You cannot approve it, I will tell you that now, in the finance committee. I've already told you that. It has to be.
if enough council members are present, you can't,
You would have to advertise a special meeting
Right,
of
that's
council
a
if you
special
wanted to do
meeting,
that.
not a committee meeting.
You have to think about
so we should have a special meeting.
you cannot always advertise a special meeting if, all you need is 24 hours notice in advance, to advertise a special meeting.
And then council could vote
Well,
If
what
they
about
agree to
Thursday
it.
at the August meeting,
at the auditor's meeting.
at the August meeting?
You just need to make clear what meeting is happening when, and the agendas are posted for each.
My question is, why are we holding off on this? Why are we pushing that down the road? Answer me that,
We're not holding off on it.
okay?
I want everybody, all council and the finance committee to be able to be present to digest the audit. So it will alleviate questions, random questions going down the road.
And that's
You know,
fine.
what happened, why is this, and, you know.
And
why is
that's
this
fine,
happening?
and that's fine. Then if we want to refer to it as a draft, then see if he's available for the finance committee to meet with him this month.
He's not.
Okay, he's not. Would the finance committee be willing to adjust their date? They can't, because the date's advertised. All right, well, then we'll carry it as is then.
Can we want to?
I'm trying to hold off on.
I understand, you wanna advertise a special meeting for the August 19th finance committee?
No, I just figured this one out. Yes, August, special advertised finance meeting for August.
Yeah, and as a special meeting of the council.
Yes, for that, see if he's available for August council meeting.
Which would be August before that. So you want to
Yes.
come to the
That would
August
be
council
August.
meeting, and then afterwards comes.
Do the finance committee.
12th, I think.
Well, actually, do the week prior. do the finance committee at the beginning of the month, special advertised, and then follow up with the council meeting of August.
Wait, just check.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Let me just check. So I gotta get that date, right? So it's gonna be. So we typically would meet August 26th, but we're gonna do it the 19th. That would be the week before. So we already had it. August 19th is already the week before the finance committee.
Borough meeting's the 10th, see if we can set it up the 3rd through the 6th. Oh, no, we can't. 5th or 6th. For the special meeting, for the finance committee. You know what I mean?
Well, it would be the special meeting would be for the council, not necessarily just the finance committee.
Correct, then we don't have to announce to approve at the borough meeting on the 10th.
Doug,
Oh, I see what you're saying, so move our finance date.
Just adjust it
Just
as a
adjust
special
it
meeting
as a
for the
special meeting.
finance committee.
Can we do that, can the committee have a special meeting?
if you do it the week before the council meeting, you don't have, that's a workshop, you can have it as a workshop. Take no action, have the action.
And then approve it on the 10th.
On the 10th.
Yeah, we can do that.
Are you available the first week? Are you available the first week, Stacy?
I am.
The first week of August?
Well, it can be the 4th because that's National Night Out.
Yeah,
So
it'll be
that's
the 5th or 6th.
No, no, usually we meet on Wednesday.
for the beach on the 8th.
So 5th or 6th?
Yeah.
The 5th is we have advertised dates on the 5th.
You're not
For the
available.
5th?
I'm
Okay.
For the 5th.
I'm retired, I can be anywhere.
All right, so Elsa, I'm gonna make a motion to the council that we, as advertised, special meeting on August 5th with the finance committee to review, the audit. Am I correct?
You'd actually call it a workshop.
Or workshop,
Okay.
to review the Clackett and Associates audit.
And that depends on if he's available.
Yes. And if he's not, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
So Matt, you're saying that it's already advertised, they just need to post it?
We have the utility commission Wednesday before the council meetings is a workshop day. And it was always told that we could use that as a workshop for the council.
And we'll just do that.
If it was advertised for that purpose, there's no further advertisement necessary.
Yeah.
If it wasn't specified in that advertisement, if you're planning to take official action, I'd just make sure
Yeah.
that on that point.
And
We won't need to take official action.
We're
until the
not
10th.
until the 10th.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right.
But it gives a chance to see if we can get to meet with the auditor on the 5th at 6:30. Or if he needs to adjust that time, he can adjust that time.
6:30 is the time.
6:30 is the time.
That's the advertisement.
All right. So the 5th and the 10th.
Anything else?
I just have a point of order, so
Yes.
they requested a legal opinion, which they're allowed to do as a committee of borough council.
Yes.
But in establishing the committees, borough council did make clear that the committee's not authorized to expend funds. So I don't know if you want to approve their request here before I dedicate any time or money into researching legal issues.
No, I think we should look into that.
We can do that internally and then direct it to me later on, it's whatever you prefer to do. I don't wanna start running something that
Let me look into it.
Okay,
All right, and then I'll shoot you correspondence.
okay.
All right.
Can you copy Dan?
Absolutely.
On the
Absolutely.
finance committee?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Cool, anything?
No, we're good, thank you. Anything for under planning? Recs and parks.
I have two things. One is we need volunteers for National Night Out, so if anybody would like to volunteer, just come on down on National Night Out, for that. And also I do have the date for Fall Fest for this year, it's gonna be October 10th, 2 to 6. And that's all.
What are the plans for borough council this year? Are we doing hot dogs, we doing watermelons for National Night Out?
Yeah, normally, the hot dog stand says they don't buy everything until like the day before, they
Yeah.
don't get everything.
Okay.
I know she
sanitation and sewer. What's that?
I said,
I have something. Sanitation was missed on Water Street.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up, I just, sorry, I was gonna see how long it would take.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks in mowing at my house for saying, for pick up the trash and that, and I just wanted to see if it was gonna go another week, I was just holding off to see how long this would go.
Okay, so it's been
Sorry.
2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since they touched mine.
Joyce, can we reach out to Republic and see if they missed the pickup or missed that street?
The Riverside?
River Street.
River Street.
I mean, we just have, did you have any other?
no, that's the other, not that I know of yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check.
All right, thank you. Electric utility and water company. Zoning. Motion to approve committee reports as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? Resolution 2026-10, management's, moving on to unfinished business, management's borough building key management policy.
Okay, I can speak on this briefly. This was the resolution that I was tasked with reading together the policy prepared by the borough office as well as the policy provided by Ron. I took elements of both and put them together in what is before you. The sections I hope speak for themselves, but essentially it makes clear, as Ron's policy does, that policy is driven by the borough council, and ownership of the keys is borough council, and it takes elements from Joyce's policy with accounts for administrative considerations for staff and administering the policies, as well as distinguishing between types of access. So Ron's positive for the role of borough council ultimately, and Joyce's positive for how to administrate the policy for chain of custody, things like that. If there's any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Save me from reading it, so who gets a key? It's been like key again lately, so I was just wondering who gets one now.
We have a working list of who actually has keys.
Oh.
So this policy, under administration of policies, says that the borough manager is designated as the person authorized to administer on behalf of borough council, and then we list the performance of these duties. They will maintain the list of who has keys. Categories of access defines who has permanent keys, who has limited keys, temporary or emergency basis. So all of that will be tracked by the borough manager, which I believe was in Joyce's original policy.
How much of that has been rewritten?
I wrote all of this.
From since last meeting, taking into account both portions?
Yes.
Okay, prior to any vote, requesting a copy of that be sent out to council. At this time, I want to request, I make a motion to the council to table until we review.
Okay.
And everybody has a copy.
I think you all have these.
Is that in?
Yeah.
Because I don't see it in my pack right here.
Yeah.
Is it in here?
Yeah.
Or is that?
Okay, I got it. All right, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, there's had time to read it, so I'm good with table that.
All right. Motion on the floor to table until next month to vote on the ordinance once council has got appropriate time to review. All those in favor? For now.
Okay. It's,
I'm not saying that we aren't going to vote on it, but having this put in front of us, I would have liked it in a packet or prior.
ultimately, there's limited legal items for me to comment on. A lot of this is policy.
Yeah, I got that. All right, moving on. Motion to continue upstairs construction offices and employee venue restrooms. Motion on the floor to continue to stay on any further construction until we get a determination of the hard set amount available and the outcome from the SLFRF and receipts of the material that have been purchased and what's been paid for since then. And it's total. I'm looking for, okay, we spent what, Elsa, is this correct, 34,000?
It's just under, yeah, and that was, based on receipts.
And when was that? That was receipts, and what was the most recent receipt received?
I don't recall that exact, I don't have that exact information.
I wrote up the receipts.
Okay, does that include?
And I have the receipts upstairs, and those were the past receipts.
Okay, that doesn't include Dolan's or?
No,
those are the things that
They
were.
are, and I can put the recent together too.
Yeah.
But those are the past receipts.
Yeah, I'm looking for total receipts
Yep.
of expenditures and material for that whole project upstairs to this date.
To date, okay.
To date. And then also, and ensure that's provided to the finance committee for transparency.
Okay.
Motion on the floor to continue the stay of the continued work upstairs.
Motion.
All those in favor? PA Small Water and Sewer, Emergency Community Water Grants, and USDA. I'm looking heavily into 3 different grants and submitting for, to assist us up in Shelley's. I've done a lot of reading on those and the amount of workload that's going to go into that. Case in point, I submitted to the FEMA, and that's rolling full force there. So with this, I'm going to do my research, due dates, and time frame of, and required paperwork. So that's probably going to need some additional paperwork, and we're talking mapping, we're talking age, we're talking installation, all that kind of stuff. Also, quote on the property, on how much it would cost for us, an actual written quote. But that's all 3 of those grants, and I'm gonna start looking at submitting those based on the timeline of when they're doing, when they're, what documentation is required. So that is gonna require me possibly coming to you, asking for certain documents
Okay.
to be submitted for these grants.
Okay.
And like justification, purpose, all that kind of stuff, you know.
Right.
And the age of the system, the current system. So, but that is my plan to submit for the borough, or attempt to submit for the borough 3 different grants, and they're written there as such.
And the 3 different grants, is this just for the water lines, the storm drains?
Both,
Both for everything?
both, yes. Now, there may be matching funds that may have to come into play with this, with it being federal funds. And that's the way it usually works. So we're gonna have to see. I know for the grant that I put in, we had put, I think it was, we haven't gotten approved yet, but it's like 15% or 20% of what you're going to get. So it's just chump change compared to what you'll get. And then with that quote, then, you know, expenditure of the funds and whatever is utilized, I believe, if I'm correct, has to go back to the grant. The issuing grantor. The issuing agency, I'll just say that. So that's where things sit. Come next month, I'll be full force on that and getting all the paperwork started on all 3 of these grants. Looking at that. Okay, moving on. Motion to, moving on to new business. Discussion, reducing speed limit on Water Street to 15 miles per hour. What's the current speed limit down there?
25.
Where does that end?
Where does Water Street end?
Where's the 25 end? Because you got the campground there too.
Where the campground starts, it ends, the 25 ends.
The gate.
I think they had something put a 7.5 mile per hour sign up there at
saw
the
that.
end. But I talked to several people on Water Street, residents, and the speed in there is a problem. I will call out to Willie's, because I was present in a conversation last year where Willie was gonna put speed humps down in there. But I think the speed limit really, it's like a 1-lane road, needs reduced either 15 or 10 miles per hour.
I'm not disagreeing with that. We need to get the engineer in to do a study, and do it appropriate based on vehicle usage, vehicles traveled, the speed, estimated speed of each vehicle.
Is that roadway considered a street or a?
It's a borough. Well, that's Water Street, the whole way down to the,
It's
to the
only
camp.
supposed to be for
There's
bungalows.
state laws that there's state law that controls the minimum speed limit for streets.
Yeah, there is, although I think Water Street, that is a borough road, so that can be dictated by the borough.
Not lower than 25 according to
Yeah,
3362.
because we had this problem when I brought my alley up behind the house. I brought this up with Lee Fisher and also brought it up with Charlie. They would not lower it, they lowered 25 mile an hour, plus they will not put speed bumps in because of the plows.
The plows, I definitely know the speed
Yeah.
bumps are not good.
Yeah,
Well,
no
you can
speed
do,
bump.
you can still do the traffic study for potential traffic control devices to be implemented there, so. That's the first required
Yeah,
step.
yeah,
And I kind
Does
of
that
figured
cost us
she-
money to do for the,
Yeah.
The traffic study?
yeah, does that,
Yes.
okay, why pay that money for that if we're not gonna be able to do it?
Well, you're investigating whether the conditions are present for any potential
Can
traffic.
that, even with the state base, can that be reviewed and, requested to be adjusted? I believe it can.
I'm assuming that that will be part of the report that would be provided, is the limitations on whatever traffic control device.
Can I bring up one thing before we get into all that? How about we have the mayor either speak with Willie or the manager of the campground and ask them, because there can be consequences for the people that live back there. If they don't follow the rules, they get kicked out. So
you're
if we
saying
can
it's-
talk with them and say, hey, we have a problem with the people, because it is the people coming out of campground.
It's the
There's a lot of
campground.
shady people in there.
Yeah.
It's
well,
not the people that-
honestly, it's,
Yeah.
on the bridge, it's actually, there was kids up in the campground too.
That's what I said, I think we need to communicate with them, Willie, or whoever I know it's a woman that's the manager.
Yeah,
And speak with them and see if we can work something out with them before we get involved with
I love
anything
talking
else.
with them, so yeah,
I mean, I'll reach out to Willie too, but
I'll do it tomorrow.
you're the mayor, I'll let you, I can't remember what her name is, but it's a woman manager.
Is that posted on the speed limit standard? Is that, that's not posted?
7
But
and 7.
7 miles.
7
No,
and a half.
no, I'm taking that out of.
I think there is a 25 mile an hour speed limit sign down here on the Water Street.
Okay, we need verification on that. In the meantime, have him go out. Mayor, if you could address that with Willie. I'll rephrase that, property owner and the manager, and address that. I don't think it would hurt us to still go and get the engineer out there.
I wait and see if we can correct the problem first.
Take down the sign,
Which sign?
So
25 sign.
No.
we can also ask the police to enforce all traffic laws back there. And there's, disobeying traffic control devices, which they
Yeah.
can cite people for, it's not tied to the speed limit.
Yeah.
It's tied to disobeying signs, flat period, and that's it, not actually 10 miles an hour over. Because at the 25, you can't cite them until they're going 35.
All right. Mayor, talk to the property owner and the manager. Convey to them our concerns regarding the speed of individuals coming and going from the campground. Also, please reach out to the police department, see if they can do any kind of enforcement down there, specifically on Water Street.
Sure.
All right?
And that'll actually help.
With the sign.
Yeah.
That'll help with that bridge
Or
too.
the strobing sign down there. That might also, because that
One of the,
that'll
yeah,
record their speed too. See if they can do a recording down there on
one of those things recorded. Oh. Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. All right, moving on, discussion, new due date for ELHP bills will now be due the 28th of each month. If the payment is dropped off at the office box, it must be in the box by 7 a.m. the next calendar day, regardless of the day of the week or holidays. If payment is mailed, the postmark will be used to establish the date. Electronic payments are recorded by the date the payment is transmitted. This new policy will encourage payments on time, and the resident will have clear understanding of what is expected and plan accordingly to prevent late charges. Council, to the floor. Any input on this?
I don't agree with this. Why don't we just keep it the same? Pardon? Yeah. Well, why do you wanna change it?
I think it's
Everybody
because-
has a
Does it cause
budget.
confusion to change it? Is that what you're saying? You think if we change it?
I think that was picked because that's February's last day.
Yeah.
So it'd be a constant
But
28.
it's always been the 30th, people knows when, even if it's put in on the 30th, it should still be credited.
Well,
The
here-
31st, it should still be
Here's
credited.
the problem with the 30th. You
It's never been a
always
problem
have,
before.
the 31st is like the 31st day of the month. And people are like, oh, well, I have till the 31st since there's 31 days in the month. So that's just one problem. And just to clarify, it's always been, it really hasn't always been, because I have the ordinance from ELHJP where it was on the 25th. And that's in the 1979-6.
When was that changed?
I don't know who changed it or what it's originally.
Charlie changed.
Well, but I think it's all more practical than you.
30th seems like.
I mean, it's only a couple days.
I think, so what, the problem is what people are late by a day, and then they come to you and say, oh, what do you need?
When it's the 30th, it's always like, well, if I have it in by the 31st, because there's 31 days in the month. The 28th isn't gonna leave
they have it
anything
in on
up
the
in the air,
31st, they
it's
get
the
charged.
28th.
You know, everybody knows it has to be in by the 30th, it's allocated by year, they know if you put it in on the 31st.
Well, you
they know
don't
it's
get the
paid,
calls
whatever. Now
on the
everything
31st.
remote projects, though, and it's up to when it gets steamed and how quick it gets steamed. Just like I had a late payment, but I know I shouldn't have had a late payment because I know when I put it in the box. So if it was post dated, whatever the post dated means the second, that means it wasn't canceled the second, it was, or revoked deposit.
Here's my question regarding this. What is considered the last day of the month? Anybody
Last day of the month.
fill me in? Is that 31st, 30th, 28th, 25th? I always took the last day of the month, regardless of whether or not it's 30th, the 28th, the 31st, that being the last day of the month.
29 on a week here.
So, yeah. But standard practice has always been the last day of the month, whether it's the 30th, 31st, 28th, or on a leap year, 29th.
Or we could just have it the 25th that was originally picked in the ordinance.
I make a motion, we just leave it where it's at.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
EMS contract or agreement, consider UPMC as an alternative. I myself have brought this up. So currently, right now, we have a pre-hospital care agreement with Fairview Township EMS. That was dated 2021, we're 5 years into that contract. I know in the past, we've had some minor issues with finding property or finding homes in the borough by Fairview Township that doesn't frequent down here as, thankfully, as they do. And some of the drivers or EMTs aren't familiar with the borough itself. I've seen EMS units come down into the borough, to the square, just go down, Ziegler, back up, and into Shelley's, instead of realizing there's a front entrance to Shelley's. They go right by. The intentions are to seek UPMC as a primary EMS provider for the borough. They are closer. Now, with that being said, I had some questions that I intend to bring up. I have a meeting on Friday. I intend to bring up with township supervisors, because the original intent with Newberry Township was they were going to start off with a BLS unit, introduce ALS with medic and BLS EMT on a BLS unit. It would be an ALS unit. Then they were going to introduce a second unit to the township. That has not happened. That was their original intent, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, it was 4 years ago. They were going to introduce a second unit, that still has not happened. So my plans are to revisit this, it's going to be tabled, but I wanted to make the public aware, we're looking at possibly going with UPMC. They're also closer, and I think, what's that? And cheaper. Well, yeah, that too, because, from my understanding, they bill, it's the out of pay, what was that, the out of pay for EMS? They, I know it's $300 out of pocket. Out of pocket. That isn't, I don't even, I
They took
question
my
it.
insurance money, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They took
Go
my
ahead.
insurance money, and then they charged me additional $300. All they did, they performed no medical services, nothing, blood pressure, nothing. I was having a breathing problem. They didn't put me on oxygen. They just took me to Harrisburg Hospital, dropped me off, dumped me in my and it cost me an additional $300.
And that brings me up to the other thing too, because in their agreement, it states non-subscribers and subscribers. So if you're a non-subscriber, they still bill your insurance, but anything left after the insurance is paid out, but being a non-subscriber, you're required to pay. With a subscriber, it states that, subscriber, full payment, balances to the, yeah. Anyways, subscriptions. Reserves the right to solicit subscriptions. When was the last time anybody received any subscriptions or solicited subscriptions? Last year?
Or this year.
And this is what's ironic. Claims will be submitted to the active subscriber's health insurance carrier for services provided by Fairview Township. Residents are responsible for remitting payments made by their health insurance carrier, Fairview Township, the emergency and medical services for the services provided. Active subscribers will not be billed any additional out-of-pocket fees for services provided by Fairview Township EMS upon remittance of payments made by their health insurance carrier, unless services are deemed not medically necessary by the subscriber's health insurance carrier. Additional mileage past the closest appropriate facility will also be the subscriber's responsibility. So they pay, you have to pay for mileage too. So if you're taking a Hershey med, you're paying the additional mileage. What that is, I have no idea. But bottom line is I'm gonna, look to table this until I have a meeting with the township supervisors, find out what's going on with their, EMS service. And then, bring this up in August meeting and that'll provide, choice. If you get a chance, can you reach out to UPMC? Sure. Please. And see if we can pursue a possible contract or agreement with them for medical services here. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and I'll reach out to the supervisors, because they were supposed to have a second rate. Like Fairview, and that's the other thing too, Fairview Township, the township themselves is actually looking to take over the EMS service completely. Like, not with a hospital, but they're looking to control EMS. EMS is still its own entity. It's not even, unlike the fire department, the township has control of the fire department. They won't have control of the EMS, but they're looking to take over that. So, at this time, I'm gonna make, request to table that, make a motion to table EMS service. All those in favor? Forecast of the meet dates, I got with the borough manager, looking, for the remainder of the year, any leave dates, vacation dates, just to have it forecasted and provide for council. Just so we know when employees are out of the office, aren't available, that kind of stuff. Okay? Visual verification of time cards for payroll noted, at, borough council meeting and signing of checks.
Should be available.
Luke? Is Luke here? He'd like, he wants to to get back up, apparently discussion, he wants to get up into the, to view the, bell and photograph it.
How long ago?
Yeah,
He tried to do that
he
years
asked
ago.
previously, I didn't draw up a liability waiver, just a general liability waiver, so the borough should have that available. And we asked that he just
Is
sign
that-
that.
Yeah, I
he
provided
said he
that
wanted
to
to sign
the office, so
anything,
they have it handy.
not the whole county, the borough, not responsible for any injuries.
Make enough to get up there if we need one.
Yeah.
As long as we get a signed, waiver,
Right, and I got
council has a copy of the treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to accept?
Now I have a discussion.
Huh?
We've asked several times when we get our packets to have it included in our packets so we can see the bills and stuff. It's not showing the bills again. So how do we know what we're paying?
liquidation. Did you look at it? Look through it?
Yeah, I looked at it online when we received it, that's all.
I didn't give it to you online.
You did it online?
No.
Well, there again, well, Will Tuesday asked a couple months back that we get it in our
It
packet.
wasn't completed until today, so.
Well, we gotta do something different with that, so we're sitting here and expect to look over it in 30 seconds and vote on it, we need to see it a little earlier.
I thought the council had talked about having, y'all were gonna rotate looking at the bills to have them signed.
That's when they go upstairs after the meeting. This is the treasury report. I mean, it's wrote up, it shows all the money, this, that, and the other, but it doesn't.
I did something different, I just remember that conversation, I'm sorry.
That's
It's in
June
your packet.
minutes. Treasurer's report.
Receipts, bills.
Well, it's definitely not mine. You wanna look through my stack? Well, I just looked 3 times.
You look up there?
This is the PJ and this is what I can do. And this is EMS contract. And the graphs.
Does everybody else have their treasurer's report?
I have it here.
Okay.
But there again, we'd like to have this with our packet ahead of time. I mean, even if it doesn't get done till Monday morning, can we at least get it Monday morning?
Yeah.
So we can look at it during the
Yeah.
day.
Well, and then we had the internet problem this morning, so I couldn't have emailed it to you if I wanted to.
We didn't even get it closed on Friday, when you're done Friday. If one or two things are missing, that's fine, that's something we can see right here Monday night, but we can see the majority of it Friday if possible.
We'll try.
You good? Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Motion on the floor. No?
Need a second.
You go first.
Well, Doug can make the motion. So,
Alright.
Can I ask what the problem is, why y'all aren't accepting the treasurer's report?
Because this is thrown in front of us and we gotta try to sit here and go
Oh,
over
okay,
all
because
these
you're just now
bills and
seeing, okay, I'm
stuff
sorry,
to
so
see
it's
what's
because,
paid.
the reason is because you're just now seeing it.
Right,
Okay.
we have, Will Tuesday asked a couple months back that we get this in our packets on Friday. So we
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
weekend
Will
to
raised
review
that,
it.
didn't he?
He did.
Okay, I understand, I just wanted, just to, for my notes, I just wanted to understand, thank you.
Alright, again, motion on the floor to accept the treasurer's report. accepting or no motion to accept the treasurer's report. The treasurer's report is not accepted by Borough Council.
So what does that do moving forward for the next 30 days and y'all don't pay the bills?
We can't hear you. Can you come up here and speak? I didn't hear you.
I'm asking, what is the result of not passing the treasurer's report?
The bills will be paid next month.
Your motion to pay the bills is your next action item. You could also approve the treasurer report at the next month's meeting.
So bills won't be paid, so there will be late fees.
So we have five.
So my money is being now wasted because y'all can't take 10 minutes to look over and tell us if everything's okay.
I saw the motion.
I'm just saying.
This is a reoccurring problem that we've been trying to address. So we have time to look at it. We can sit here and hold you here for the next half hour and go over it, that's fine.
You know what?
A lot of people don't like to sit here that way.
They can leave, nobody's forced to sit
Well, I know,
here.
but I'm saying.
I would gladly sit here for half an hour while y'all go over those bills so that I don't have to pay late fees for y'all not paying your bills. Because I pay my bills on time.
Yeah,
We
all
just
do.
had a conversation about not paying bills on time and having late fees. So I would gladly sit here for half an hour if that's what it takes for y'all to
Everybody's
go over
already
those
sitting
bills.
here for a couple
They
minutes.
can leave, nobody, they don't have to stay here.
We do.
Uh, Which-
I'm just pointing the obvious.
Could you put that back on the floor, please? Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Has that been recorded? Make a motion on the floor to accept the treasurer's report.
I make that motion.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Presentation of the bills, motion on the floor to pay the bills.
Make that motion.
Citizens' remarks. Anybody for citizens' remarks?
Thank you, Council.
Oh, yeah. Make a motion to vote, pay the bills.
I make a motion.
Right.
I need the second and then we'll vote.
Do I hear a second? All right, all those in favor? All those in nay?
Right.
Pay the bills. Citizens' remarks to the floor. None?
I do have one.
Yes.
This particular ordinance that they have, that they said they went by, is superseded by another ordinance. It says in here that the Borough Council of the Borough of Goldsboro shall have the power to adopt such additional rules and regulations regarding the provision of electric service to customers within the Borough of Goldsboro by resolution from time to time as deemed appropriately for the orderly conduct of Goldsboro ELH&E Department. And that's ordinance 2017-1, and it supersedes the one of 1988-1.
It was the last amended.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ordinance. So what I'd like to see is I would like to see the minutes to make sure that it was voted on, make sure it was passed.
Whenever, I don't know what document you're referring to, but whenever you're adopting ordinances from time to time, you're not invalidating the previous one, you read them together unless you specifically say you're repealing in the entirety of the previous version. So there are standards by which you have, that's not what you said at first. And second,
It
correct,
supersedes this one, that's what it says.
superseding is not what you're reflecting it to mean, and I'm trying to explain that to you. You can have multiple ordinances adopted sequentially that still govern. You read them together, it's called in pari materia, it's a legal concept. So unless it's expressly saying that we are repealing all previous versions, even those that are not inconsistent with us, then you still read both ordinances together. So they're both controlling, unless they're conflicting, and if they're conflicting, the more specific and recent in time governs. The problem that we solved earlier still remains, and I think the borough has a good process to solve it. This is not some smoking gun that you're making it out to be, that no rules and regulations.
Well, it is to me, because this project's been working on me for 4 years. I spent all my savings to get it. And now that I can't get my electric hooked up, I'm really pissed off about it.
I would
I'm
recommend.
not very happy, and I might be searching for an attorney about it, because I'm not happy.
Any attorney that you contact will tell you to follow. the
No, he
rules and
isn't, he's gonna tell me that I'm gonna sue, that's what he's gonna tell me. Okay, have it back.
The legal advice remains to follow the rules
Thank you.
and regulations.
Pat.
My concern is it's gonna open us up to litigation again.
Let's wait and see what Ghetto comes down with. Oh,
And I would like to be present when Gettle shows.
well, yeah, noted, Joyce, when you do have a date set up and then scheduled, could you please let me know that date and the time? Sure. Thank you. All right, councilperson's comments. Going around the horn. Peter? No comment. Bill?
Nothing.
Ron?
I'm good.
Stacy? All right. I have nothing. No announcements. Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We do the gas for the grill for the hot dogs, I have a pool bottle like that.